Cliffs Amusement Park is the premier amusement park in New Mexico. Located in Albuquerque, this family-run park is a great wood coaster and a nice atmosphere. However, is an absolute trek for most coaster enthusiasts to visit. Is it worth adding to a coaster road trip? Find out in this review. Cliff Hammond originally opened a small kiddie park in 1959 named Uncle Cliff's Kiddieland. It was located on Lomas Boulevard and had just 7 rides. Locals petitioned for the park to close, and today, this site is home to a Circle K gas station. The park briefly relocated 24 miles east to Little Beavertown, East Tijeras for a few seasons. Then in 1964, the park opened in its current location, Osona Road. This is 5 miles north of the original park, 7 miles north of downtown, and 9 miles north of the Albuquerque airport. The park was originally known as Uncle Cliff's Family Land. Once Cliff's kids took over, they rebranded the park as Uncle Cliff's Amusement Park in the 1980s. Then in 1991, the name was shortened to just Cliff's Amusement Park, which has gone by ever since. Hearing this park was located in the city, I was worried it would be difficult to access. But the roads around the park are easy to navigate, and the park has a large free parking lot available. Alternatively, you can access this park via bus. There's a station just a 5-minute walk away at an intersection of San Mateo Boulevard and Osuna Road. It can take multiple connections in 1 to 1.5 hours if you're coming from downtown or the airport, so consider an Uber if you do not have a car. This park is just 10 to 15 minutes by car from most parts of Albuquerque. This park can be difficult to access if you're not a local. For coaster enthusiasts, this park is a long ways from other theme parks. It is 4 hours from Western Playland near El Paso or Wonderland in Amarillo. Then it is 7 hours from Colorado's amusement parks, 7 hours from Phoenix, Arizona's theme parks, 8 hours from Frontier City in Oklahoma, 10 hours from Lagoon in Utah, and also 10 hours from the Six Flags parks in Texas. Albuquerque is not a major airport hub, so it's unlikely you'll have a layover there. My recommendation if you're a coaster enthusiast is to try to find a cheap flight to Albuquerque. It may be worth considering what I did. I found a cheap one-way flight to Albuquerque. Then, I got a good deal on a one-way car rental that could be returned in Denver. Another con trying to visit this park is its limited operating season. The park is open from late April until Labor Day weekend. It is open most days in June and July, but it's often closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. Then it is weekend only the rest of the year. And on top of the limited days, the park is typically open from just 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. On weekends, it can be open as late as 6 or 7 p.m. As of this recording, tickets cost just under $40. I think that's a fair value for a park of this scale. This park makes a great first impression. The entrance reflects classic Spanish Pueblo architecture. Then you can see the park's taller rides cycling in the distance, including New Mexico Rattler. This wood coaster runs through much of the park, so it adds a ton of kinetic energy whenever it cycles. It runs along the midway and circles around multiple rides. This park is very compact. It spans just 15 acres, yet packs in nearly 24 rides. It is quick to get between rides. Just be careful not to miss any, because a lot of them are wedged in the footprints of other rides. This park certainly knows how to use all its space. Now this is a true amusement park. There is not much in terms of theming, maybe just a western building or two. That being said, I think this park looks great. The park is clean, and the rides are well presented. Many have fresh and colorful paint schemes. And I love how you have the mountains in the background. This looks fantastic for many of the park's taller attractions. Adding to the atmosphere were the friendly employees. While there are some trees, most midways have minimal shade. Combined with a black top, this park can feel very hot, so make sure to pack your sunscreen. I visited on one of the park's busier days, a summer Saturday, yet crowds were very manageable. The longest waits were 20 to 30 minutes for the Log Flume and Galaxy coaster. All the flat rides were walk-ons. New Mexico Rattler was a bit odd though. You could usually board in just one train if you were not picky on your row. But if you wanted the front or back car, you could have to wait a while. You see, the queue is set up differently from most coasters. Immediately after you enter that queue, There are 3 separate lanes, one for the front car, one for the back car, and one for all other rows. Physically, these queues are all roughly the same length, and from what I saw, people would fill them out evenly. This meant the front and back car lane would move significantly slower because it'd take 4 riders per train, whereas the middle lane would take 16 riders. New Mexico Rattler is just one train, and the safety checks take a bit. By the afternoon, the front and back car lanes were typically 5 to 8 trains deep, which equated to a 30 to 45 minute wait. Alternatively, you could just go for the second to back car or the second to front car in just 5 to 10 minutes. That was far more efficient. The forces in the second and fifth car were not radically different from those in the very front or back cars. If you are visiting on a busier day, I recommend getting a quick lap on the Flume and Galaxy after opening. Those 2 rides are next to each other at the front of the park. Then, head back to New Mexico Rattler. This is the best time to go for the front or back car. On that note, let's run through the ride lineup. This park currently has 3 roller coasters, which is tied for the most in the state with Western Playland. The signature ride is undoubtedly New Mexico Rattler. This was the final coaster built by Custom Coasters International, or CCI. They actually went bankrupt during construction, so the park had to finish the ride themselves, and I am glad they did. This is one of the world's most underrated wood coasters. It specifically is one of the best rides out there for laterals. The turns offer ultra-sustained laterals, and they're particularly sustained in the 2 helixes. Then this coaster has some good airtime as well. The 3 largest drops have great floater in the back, and there's a powerful speed hill midway through the layout. I had heard this coaster was a bit rough going into my visit, but I found it plenty tolerable. That is especially true because it recently got some pre-cut track from the Gravity Group. If you love wood coasters, particularly those with laterals, this ride needs to be on your bucket list, and I have a whole review explaining why. Their largest steel coaster is a classic STC Galaxy. This is a 2-car model, so you can get some airtime towards the start. The helixes are on the gentler side, but you have tons of head choppers with the supports, and the brakes do not kick in until the very end, so there's a sudden and powerful lateral slam after that second helix. The final coaster is an SBF spinner named Spinorama. This has the height of a kiddie coaster, but the spinning vehicles make it fun for older guests as well. I would love to see this park add a thrilling steel coaster in the future. Something like a Gerstlauer Eurofighter would be a perfect fit. The Beyond Vertical Drop is marketable anyway, but it also would be the only coaster with an inversion for hundreds of miles. Moving on to the flat rides, this park has some good ones. A lot of them are from Larson because their headquarters is relatively close by in Texas. The best flat here is Cliffhanger, the park's 140-foot or 43-meter tall drop tower. These ARM Larson drop towers are among the most intense rides of their kind. The slow climb to the top is super suspenseful, and if you keep your eyes open, the view of the surrounding mountains is stunning. Then the drop is absolutely gut-wrenching. You lose your stomach at the top, and it offers oodles of floater airtime. I also like Wind Rider. This is the park's ARM Starflyer. It is slow for a ride of its kind, but it gives you ample time to take in the view. I particularly like when New Mexico Rattler cycles because the first helix wraps around this ride. Sidewinder is a Moser Frisbee. This one spins quickly, so you get some strong outward forces. It does inhibit the airtime a bit, as you only get weak to okay floater, but it feels so intense as you're constantly thrusted outwards. Combined with the high G's and the downswings, my legs went completely numb by the end of it. While on the topic of pendulum rides, they also have a Chance Falling Star and a Sea Dragon. The Falling Star offers fun laterals, especially if you sit solo and slide across the whole seat. Then Sea Dragon can offer some airtime on the ends of the boat. If you want to go upside down, this park has 2 options. Fireball is a Larson Superloop with loads of hang time. Then the park was constructed as Zamperla Air Race during my visit. These rides offer a series of disorienting flips. Then the park has some other classics mixed in. This includes enclosed bumper cars with light effects and demolition disco, but this sadly was being relocated and reconstructed during my visit. I was surprised this park did not have a Ferris wheel given the scenic location. Their only rides offering aerial views are on the wilder side. The lone observation ride is a train that circles around a decent chunk of the park. For water rides, this park has a few options. The best of the bunch is Rocky Mountain Rapids. This is a Hopkins log flume with very blue water. Most of the layout circles around a pretty pool with some water features. Then it concludes with one big drop. It is solidly steep, so it can offer a tiny bit of airtime, and it's zippy. Then the subsequent splash is refreshing. Big Flush is a dingy water slide. While these rides are usually fun, this one was glacially slow. I nearly got stuck at several points. It felt like there was not enough water in the trough, so hopefully this is something they can or have fixed. Then there's a small water park area known as Water Mania. It consists of a water fortress plus some splash pads. The main audience right now is kids. It would be nice if they could add a more substantial water slide tower in the future though, so adults have something appealing for them too. Kids have a Kittyland embedded inside New Mexico Rattler's first turnaround. This is roughly the same size as the family's original park, as it features 7 or 8 rides. It is nice how kids can bounce from ride to ride, while parents can relax on a bench. Beyond the rides, this park does not have much else. There are some boardwalk games and a small gift shop, but there are no shows, nor live entertainment options. Almost all the space is dedicated to rides. On that note, this park is very limited in the food department as well. I do not believe there are any indoor restaurants. It is all takeaway stands, and none of the food looked all that great. The one thing I tried, the chicken tenders, were meh. Therefore, I strongly recommend eating before and after your visit. Albuquerque has a lot of good Spanish and Tex-Mex food. Or if you're a Breaking Bad fan like myself, the Doghouse restaurant featured in multiple scenes is nearby. They have decent hot dogs, and the Weenie Dog sign is an absolutely adorable sight. Do I recommend this park? If you are a local and want some thrills, absolutely. It is the area's only amusement park for many, many miles. I think it is a nicely run family park with a genuinely great headlining coaster. If you love aggressive wood coasters, I think this place is well worth trying to fit into a coaster road trip. I know it is not easy to visit, but you will not be disappointed if you find a way to get there. You can comfortably do all the rides in a half day, but given how difficult this park was to access, I gave myself a full day. I was not sure the next time I'd be back, so I spent a large chunk of my day lapping New Mexico Rattler. That ride never got old. But if you are trying to combine this with a distant park, you may prefer to have an abbreviated day. I did half the drive the night after to Glenwood Caverns. I then finished the drive in the morning. This broke the drive up enough for me that was digestible. Those are my thoughts on Cliffs Amusement Park, the premier amusement park in New Mexico. What are your thoughts on this park? Have you been there? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.